May I request all of you to occupy the seats so that we can commence the program today? Dear audience, I request all of you to occupy the seats so that we can start the program. Assalamu alaikum and a pleasant evening to one and all. Respected members of the school managing committee, guest speakers, respected doctors, vice principals, boys and girls section, administrative officer, HMs, teachers, parents and students. Today we have gathered here for a much awaited health awareness program which is going to be the first of its kind, which aims at creating a healthier society by familiarizing preventive measures to sensitize on the importance of healthy diet and hygienic measures to prevent infections, promote better health, which is the need of the hour in the present scenario where we are still facing post-pandemic challenges. Keeping these challenges in mind, the World Health Organization declared the theme for the World Health Day as Our Planet, Our Health. Let us ask some questions. Are we able to reimagine a world where clean air, water and food are available to all? Where economies are focused on health and well-being? Where cities are livable and people have control over their health and the health of the planet? All these questions still remain unanswered. Let us seek the blessings of the Almighty so that we overcome all these calamities and move ahead with a healthy world, a healthy planet. May I invite on stage Mr. Ataur Rahman, teacher of 3 to 5 boys section, to recite a few verses from the glorious Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am going to recite Surah An-Nahl. This is a very important surah related to this program. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء لكم منه شراب ومنه شجر فيه تسيمون ينبت لكم به الزرع والزيتون والنخيل والأعناب ومن كل الثمرات إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون وسخر لكم الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بأمره إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون وما ذرأ لكم في الأرض مختلفا ألوانه إن إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يذكرون وهو الذي سخر البحر لتأكلوا منه لحما طريا وتستخرجوا منه حلية تلبسونها وترى الفلك مواخر فيه ولتبتغوا من فضله ولعلكم تشكرون صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khair, sir. For its translation, I invite Mrs. Javeria of 1 and 2 boys section.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. It is He who sends down water for you from the sky, out of which you drink, and out of which grow the plants on which you pasture your cattle, and by virtue of which He causes crops and olives and date palms and grapes and all kinds of fruits to grow for you. Surely in this there is a great sign for those who reflect. He has subjected for you the night and the day, and the sun and the moon and the stars have also been subservient by His command. Surely there are signs in this for those who use their reason. And there are also signs for those who take heed in the numerous things of various colors that He has created for you on earth. And it is who has subjected the sea that you may eat fresh fish from it and bring forth ornaments from it that you can wear. And you can see ships plowing their course through it so that they may go forth seeking the bounty and be grateful to Him. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu feekum.
Jazakallah khair. I now take the privilege to invite on stage esteemed member of the School Managing Committee from the Academic Subcommittee, Dr. Muhammad Abdul Salim, for the welcome note.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all on behalf of the school committee, the principal, Dr. Muzaffar, vice principals, Dr. Farhat Unisar, Dr. Nuzhat, and all the HMs for the first health awareness meeting which we have organized, and inshallah in future we will be planning to organize many more sessions like this. Things have changed a lot after COVID. Even we doctors, we cannot understand what is happening. There are a lot of mutants. The viruses are changing into many mutations. So I can just quote you a small verse from the Holy Quran that when I am ill, it is He who cures me. Even we doctors are just the medium. We are the medium. God has chosen us to be the medium. We can just aware you guys, we can just tell you how to prevent diseases. But still we don't know what is the process of healing till now in medical history. There have been lot of landmarks in medical sciences. Lot of procedures have been introduced. Lot of drugs have been introduced. But how healing process takes place, we cannot say. So we all, even we say that if Allah wills, we will be doing it. And we say the patients to pray to Allah, that's it. We try our best. and that you all know, inna lillahi wa inna lillahi rajiun, we belong to him and at last we go to him. The aim of organizing this health session is to motivate you, is to train you the emergency situations if it encounters in the school, train the teachers if they encounter in school, train the parents if they encounter any emergency situation in home. We say prevention is better than cure. Okay. We are not stopping here. We are planning to have a vaccination camp in our school, and inshallah, in collaboration with Naseem Jidda Medical Center, they are kind enough to provide us with vaccines, which will be giving free for the students. We'll start in phase-wise, then we will try to give all the students. I would like to welcome our speakers, Dr. Habib, who has come all the way from Makkah, Dr. Amreen Munshi, Dr. Revati Balu, who without any hesitation, they have agreed, they have given their time, and they have come for us. The session is designed in a way that it can be understandable by each and every one of you. We have requested the doctors to use easy terms so that it can be understood by all of you. And please feel free to ask questions. There will be a question and answer session for 20 minutes after the presentations are over. The question and answers questions should be regarding the health related topic. I request you, not regarding the school related topics. Thank you and have a good time.
Thank you, Dr. Salim, for giving a brief insight into today's proceedings and for welcoming the gathering. Today's awareness program comprises of 3 segments. All of us have very often heard, you are what you eat. To set the ball rolling, may I invite Dr. Amreen Munshi, gynecologist Naseem Jidda, to enlighten us on helping your children eat a healthy diet. Let's welcome Dr. Amreen Munshi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good evening, everyone. So, this is the most important topic today regarding the health, because the nutrition is the most important thing that maintains your body's immunity and your health. So, in the school-going age, this age, the children need more of the diet awareness. So, the nutrition in the school-going age children, it counts a lot. So the nutrition for the kids, it should be, your kid spends more of the time in the school, and so they have more of the communication with their friends and their peers. So they eat with the friends, and you don't know what they are eating with the friends here in the school. They may be bringing some junk foods or some taking foods from the other friends, which you don't know because you are not around them. So you have to maintain the regular family meal times. So nutrition guidelines for the school-aged children. During the tender age, the children needs very healthy diet, which includes proteins, minerals, vitamins, and healthy fats to support their growing body. The kids between age of 5 to 12, they need a variety of food and variety of taste. Creative serving ideas will give long way towards the maintaining their healthy eating habits. So, we should follow the diet pyramids. Can you just slide? No, it's already next year's. Yeah, already finished. Yeah. So in this, you have. I need. No. Okay, so you just bring the pyramid, yes. So, the least things to be taken are the fat oils and sweets. Second, uh, healthy diets should include milk, yogurt, and dairy products, or like meat, poultry, fish, beans, or vegetables. Fruits and healthy vegetables containing vitamins, proteins, minerals, then cereals and rice. And most of the important thing is good consumption of water. You have to take plenty of water in your daily life. Yes, next. This one? So recommended diets. Vegetables should be in form of soups, juices, and different varieties of dates so that the children can accept taking these fruits like juices or smoothies or fruit yogurts, dips, or fruit necks. Whole grains like wheat, rice of varying taste. So poultry like proteins in a form of meat or poultries, or peanut butters for the vegetarians, chickpeas, tofus and lentils, dairy products like milk or yogurt, natural cheese, water. Consumption of water should be minimum 6 to 8 glasses per day, healthy fat and minerals like zinc that improves the memory and performance. Mushrooms are the rich sources of selenium, magnesium, copper, and phosphorus. Nuts and seeds, which are the rich sources of fat, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Yogurts. So, okay. It has gone little, just a minute. Just previous, yeah, two previous. No, no. Yeah, this one. Yogurts, which are the high sources of calcium and probiotics, minerals, some household items like turmeric and other Indian kitchen spices and herbs. Benefits of healthy eating. Benefits of healthy eating, it may help you live long and healthy life, keep skin, hair, teeth, and eyes healthy. It supports your muscles, boosts your immunity, strengthens your bones, lowers the risk of heart diseases, diabetes, and some other types of cancers, helps in your digestive systems, and support the brain functions. Immunity boosters. Many foods, they are the natural immunity boosters. And you know, nowadays, we need more of immunity rather than medicines. So the immunity boosters are like fruits fruits like berries, which are packed with beneficial antioxidants, and most kids love them. So they are an easy way to keep the whole family healthy. Citrus fruits are the heavy sources of vitamin C, which is again an immunity booster. Green leafy vegetables, sources of vitamin E, A, C, K, broccoli, vitamin E. Rooted vegetables like sweet potato is a great source of vitamin C. And you know, vitamin C is the most important vitamin to improve your immunity. So good eating habits and good hygienic rules. Importance of the family meal times. Catch up your kids' daily life, teach them by examples. Let your kids see you eating a wide variety of healthy foods. Whatever you eat, your children are learning from you. So if you should set an examples for your children and eat healthy food in front of children so that they will adopt the habits from you. And refrain from obsessive calorie counting or commenting on your own weight gain. School lunches, the most important meal. The children, they are taking at school with their friends. So approximately 1/3 of the food children consume it at school. For this reason, it is important for children to have a daily balanced food in their lunch boxes, either through the packed healthy snacks and lunches or through a healthy meal plan. Encourage your child to consume fresh daily produces and eliminate sugary tastes such as flavored milk, desserts, ice cream treat, etc. Restrict kids from drinking more of the sodas and sugary beverages, including sugar-loaded juices, which contribute to obesity, risk of dental problems, and poor nutrition. Now it is a time to reset your child's drink habits and make water central. The best bet continues to be water or fresh juices or milk so that they get more of calcium, vitamins, and minerals. This is an important issue during childhood and adolescence, which is a key time for bone and health development. So now, when you're taking out your kids, so eating fast foods at the outside, at the restaurants, fast food companies speak to the children earlier, offer when parents are not looking for, because at the age of 2 or 3, we don't bother. But looking at the advertisements and looking other family members or kids, they adopt very easily, and they learn to eat junk foods and all. So, excuse me, it does not come. So fast food is the most unhealthy product marketed to the children other than sugar-sweetened beverages, and is aggressively targeted towards children starting as young as age of 2. So we need both to educate and lead our children to make healthy meal choices both in our kitchen and while eating out. Some important tips to remember about fast food and restaurant dining for kids: avoid sodas. Kids should not drink, kids should drink water or milk instead of taking sodas. Avoid chicken nuggets, unhealthy imposters of real chicken. Skip the fries. Consider taking along a bag of mini carrots, grapes, and other fruits and vegetables instead. This will add vitamins and fibers to the meal. If you order kids' meal, ask for some other substitute, because all these junk foods, they reduces the immunity. They are they create the health issues to the children. Kids, like the rest of adults, should limit the fats found in vegetable shortenings. They should avoid taking crackers, candies, cookies, fried fruit, or processed fruits. The best way to help your children with nutrition, be a role model to them. What they will eat, what they see the parents and their elders eating. So start teaching them when they are young. Focus them on their overall diet. Know what they should be eating. Don't force them to eat anything. Put limits on the screen time. Set the snacks boundaries. Encourage healthy eating habits. Skip the food rewards. Here are some of the tips that we should follow. Try to control when and where food is to be eaten by your children by providing regular daily meal times. Include social interaction and demonstrate healthy eating behaviors. Involve children in picking and preparing the foods. Teach them to make healthy choices by giving them a chance to choose healthy foods. Select foods with the nutrients whenever possible, like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and fibers containing foods. Most children need to cut the number of calories they consume. When it comes to the weight control, calories do count. Controlling portion sizes and eating non-processed foods will help limit calories intake and increase nutrients. Parents are encouraged to limit children's screen time to less than 2 hours daily. Encourage children and adolescents for at least 60 minutes of moderate and vigorous physical activities on most days for good health and fitness. To prevent dehydration, encourage children to drink foods regularly during and after the physical activity. Add several glasses of water in their daily habits. So healthy kids, healthy body, healthy mind, and happy life, healthy life. Thank you.
That was indeed a very informative session. Thank you, Dr. Amreen. Panic in an health emergency worsens the situation. However, having a basic knowledge on first aid helps in overcoming emergencies. May I now invite Dr. Revati Balu, diabetologist Naseem Jeddah, to conduct the session, First Aid Guide for Parents and Caregivers. Let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Revati.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, one and all. A very warm welcome to all the parents, teachers, IISJ staffs, and the SMC members. Happy to see you all in this very good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Ambreen, for giving a detailed awareness in nutrition, especially in children. Regarding the topic, actually, I wanted to say, like, we were prepared first as a first aid. Since the fever and flu is more prevalent now, so we would like to give some insights about the fever now. So today I'm going to talk about the fever. So let us see a stepwise methodological approach in a child with a fever. So what is fever? It is a temporary rise in the body's temperature. It is actually the immune response to some reaction, like especially infection. So it is, it just tells there is something wrong in our body. The body started reacting to that. So how we'll check the fever? Because this is very, very important. First I'll start with an example. One of my sisters, staff nurse, she's a staff nurse. She called me 1 week before, and then she told me that her child is having fever recurrently for past 3-4 months. Then I asked her, what is the temperature? She said, no, I just touched him in the forehead and I just touched his body. It was warm. So what did you do? I gave him Brufen. So what happened? He started vomiting now because the child is having allergy to the Brufen, NSAID. So please don't do this. This is, I have seen in most of the parents, even though she is a staff, she did this. Most of the parents, they are coming to us with the same criteria only. They'll say, when I touch the child is having a temperature. When we check, it doesn't have any temperature. We have to check the temperature only with the thermometer, especially in the oral. Even the ear one and the forehead temperature, it is not that much accurate. So always please check the temperature in the with the thermometer orally for 1 minute. If it is more than 37 degrees Celsius or more than 100 degree Fahrenheit, then we have to treat it as a fever. Then we have to give the paracetamol syrup. I always recommend to give the paracetamol syrup rather than giving the Brufen, because some of the children, they are taking the paracetamol, this Brufen syrup without eating anything. So what happens? They develop mouth ulcers and they start to vomit because it will create a little nausea sensation when the stomach is empty. So these children, they'll end up in vomiting and oral ulcers. It is like we are inducing the illness to the child. So always check the temperature with the thermometer. Then you decide to give whether to give the medicine or not. So now it is the season. So let us see some of the symptoms of the flu and flu-like illnesses. Symptoms of swine flu. Actually now, the 2014, the WHO has declared it is no more called as a swine flu or H1N1. It is named as seasonal flu because the variants keep on coming, but the symptoms are almost the same. But it is no more called as a swine flu. So what are the symptoms we will have? As usual, the children will have, not only the children, even the adults, they will have high-grade fever, cold, cough, runny nose, and sometimes they'll have the GIT symptoms like nausea, vomiting, sometimes diarrhea. And the child, when the fever goes for a long time, they'll be very lethargic and they'll have lack of appetite also. How it gets transmitted? We all know very well. It is by touching. Like if the child touches the infected area with the hand and touches the mouth or nose, it will get spread. Mostly 80% of the transmission occurs like this. That is why we keep on insisting the washing hands. Washing hands is prevent 80% of the flu and flu-like illnesses. So even for the small kids, as parent and also as a teacher, we have to insist them, we have to teach them the hand washing techniques. The other one, person-to-person transmission, like coughing or sneezing. See, we have to teach, even adults, we have to teach the cough etiquette. I will tell like how, when you are coughing, how we have to cough. We have to cough either to the shoulders or to the elbow. Either we have to do or to the elbows, or sometimes we can cough inside our dress. Because the research has shows that the virus will not stay longer for a longer time in the dress. In any dress material, the virus will not stay for long. So if you cough into those areas, it will die soon. So the spread of the virus will be very less. and communicability, how it infected to the other people. For the children, usually they say 1 day before the start, of the infection, and to 7 days after the onset of the symptoms. So that is why most of the parents, they say like, doctor, my children just got fever 10 days before, again now started with a fever, because the children who were having the virus, they can spread up to nearly 10 days. Especially for the children, they have the potentially, they will be contagious for a longer time. So it will be cycle. If the one child get cured, then it will spread to the other child. When the other child get cured, it will give the space, it will give back to the infection to the previous child. It is like a cycle, So most of the small children, we have to teach them these washing techniques and the cough etiquette, then only we can put some stop. I heard that the school has given holiday for the, not holiday, like online classes for the younger children, like KGs and 1 and 2. That is a very great decision, because we are breaking the chain now. So based on the symptoms, we can categorize into mild, moderate and severe. This is very, very important, because the treatment varies for each and everything. If you know the symptoms of mild, moderate and severe, there is no need to panic if the child is having a fever. So we are categorizing into A, B and C. So mild, category 1. 91% of the flu belongs to category 1. 91%. So imagine that, it is not to be panic. It is not like some serious condition we have to be worried of. So we have, only thing we have to know what is A, what is B, what is C. That is very important. So the symptoms are same: fever, cold, flu, cough, running nose, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and sometimes lack of appetite and lethargy. So what is the treatment? Home isolation. If the child is, I think most of the parents are doing that only now, but still it is our duty to, the teacher's duty to inform that if a child is having a fever, not come to the school. That is very, very important. What is the treatment? Again, I am insisting on giving paracetamol. Paracetamol. See, this Fevadol syrup or anything of paracetamol syrup is the best and foremost medicine for fever and flu. Don't give NSAIDs. I am not saying don't give. Keep it as a last option, like Brufen and acetaminophen. You have to keep it as a last option. Okay. Don't immediately start the child with NSAIDs like Brufen, as I told before my staff nurse story. And very, very important is the ORS, oral rehydration solution. None of the parents are doing this. Yeah, it's very sad to say this, because if the child is having a fever, the mother's duty is to check the temperature every 6 hours, and they are giving the paracetamol syrup. Some mothers, they are not checking the fever also. I'm not blaming them. As a mother, I also will be worried, like my child should not suffer. So what they will do, every 6 hours, by keeping alarm, they are giving the paracetamol syrup. But they are not cared about the oral rehydration solution. Means the hydration of the child is very, very important. Why the child is going from the mild category, they are going to the moderate and severe category? Because only of the hydration. If the child is dehydrated, you are keep on giving the paracetamol syrup, the child may end up with nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. That is very, very dangerous, rather than just leaving the child with mild fever. Because fever will not do much harm to the child, but dehydration definitely, yes, it does. The child may need an hospitalization, or the child may need an IV fluid replacement. So oral rehydration solution is very, very important. Nowadays we have so many, this Tetra Pak solutions are available for the oral rehydration. You have apple flavor, pineapple flavor, strawberry flavor. So you can give the child, or if needed, we can do it at home itself. You can prepare some soup, put more salt in it. You can give it as a rehydration solution. So hydration is very, very important if a child is having a fever. And one more thing, it is not necessary to give the paracetamol syrup every 6 hours. If the child is very playful and eating well, playing well, and is very active and passing adequate urine, no need to give the paracetamol. Even you can just observe, if the child is having high grade fever, you can give that time. It is not necessary that you have to give the paracetamol every 6 hours as a antibiotic dosage. Not necessary. No aspirin, no NSAIDs. No antibiotics. No antibiotics means no antibiotics. It is very, that is what I'll always insist, because I always have a fight with the parents. Most of the patients, they hate me for not giving antibiotics, because that's very, very important. For viral flu, no need for any antibiotics. Antibiotics will not do anything for the child. No steroids. And you should know the red flag signs. This is very, 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 very important for each and everyone. I request all the teachers and parents to know the red flag signs, so that it will be very, very helpful in for our life and also some of the children's life. First one. Excessive irritability. The child will be keep on crying, or it will be very irritable, and it will be like, not responding to the teachers, like it will not respond to any of the request of the parent or the teachers. And second thing, drowsy. It will be very sleepy. All the time it will be sleepy and drowsy. And there will be signs of dehydration, the sunken eyes, dry skin, dry mouth. These are all signs for the red flag signs. The second one, abdominal pain and continuous vomiting. One time or two times it's okay, but if the child having severe abdominal pain and continuous vomiting, it's a red flag sign. Hypotension. How would you find the hypotension? The child will not pass the urine throughout half of the day or till the evening. That is very dangerous. That shows that child is dehydrated. Tachycardia, tachyapnea, like fast heartbeat and fast respiratory rate. And cyanosis, blue lips. This is very rare, but we have to aware of it. And cold peripheries. When you touch the periphery of the child, like hand and feet, it will be very cold. That shows that it is dehydrated. Then fits, seizures, like any generalized fit, you have to be aware of it. Low oxygen saturation. I think most of us are having this pulse oximeter at home. So if the oxygen level is less than 94, it is very dangerous. These are all called red flag signs. I request all the parents and teachers to know these red flag signs, so that we can help some of the parents or child. Then category B. In addition to the symptoms what I have seen in the BA, if the child is having some comorbid conditions. Comorbid condition. If the child is having a lung disease with a fever, if the child is having a heart disease with a fever, liver disease with a fever, kidney disease with a fever, or neurological illness, this is very rare. But some of the children, they are having diabetes, less than 5 years of age, asthma, and some very rarely some children will take some immunosuppression. If any fever, any children who is having a high grade fever with these comorbid symptoms, it is considered as category B. Go to the previous slide. It is considered as category B. So again, category B is only 8%, okay? So nothing to panic, but only thing we have to be aware of what we have to do when we have to consider as category B. So what we have to do in category B, we have to visit the doctor, and the doctor may start with the antiviral. That and all, it's doctor's part. So you must visit the doctor when you think the child is coming under category B. You have to visit the doctor will recommend some antiviral, or sometimes it may need an antibiotic regarding the situation. And for this, there's no need for any lab test, or there is no need for any admission, and home isolation is very, very important. The last one, which is just only 1%, category C. This is really very unfortunate, but we have to be aware of it. So in addition to those fever, cold, cough, everything, we have to remember the red flag signs. I think by this time, some of the red flag signs you would have remembered well without seeing the screen. So we have to remember those red flag signs. If that is there in a child, even one red flag sign, you have to rush to the hospital, you have to get the child admitted in the hospital, and you have to start the treatment vigorously. So after going to hospital, the child may require an RT-PCR test, or they will start with an oseltamivir, the Tamiflu for the antiviral, or sometimes we need to start with the broad spectrum IV antibiotics to prevent the complications like ARDS, pneumonia, and fulminant sepsis. This is like our part is to find the red flag signs. This is our part. Then we have to go and admit the child, then the rest of the hospital will take care. Again, the same danger signs for the hospitalization, as I mentioned before: increased heart rate, increased respiratory rate, low oxygen saturation, hypotension, blue lips, dehydration, drowsiness, abdominal pain, and seizures. Okay, so what are the, so we know that this flu 91% is 91% of the fever with flu is only very mild symptoms. It doesn't require much treatment. So how to avoid and how to prevent the complication, how to prevent the child going into the category B and category C. Washing hands frequently. I think COVID has taught us one good thing is like how to wash the hands. Most of us has seen the video. I think during the COVID time, we conduct a small competition between the child, like how to wash the hand properly for 30 seconds. You have to send the video. So many children, they did like that, how to wash the hands. Then teaching the coughing etiquette. As I told, we have to teach the children to cough into the shoulder or into the elbow. Either here or like this, or into the shirt, inside the shirt. That's very, very important because so many researchers have conducted that it stopped the spreading, means it reduced the spread of the virus. Drinking warm water. We have so much experience that most of the patient, they'll come like doctor, past 3 days I had fever, mild throat infection. Yesterday I went for a party, I had a small cup of Pepsi or a cup of fresh juice and cup of water, it aggravated. Yes, we have seen so many patients after taking the cold water, if they have a symptoms before. Now I'm not saying like everyone, whoever takes the cold water, they are getting the flu. Whoever has a mild symptoms, after taking the cold water, it gets aggravated. And it is for the request to the parents, like, you know, before and after going to school and after coming from the school, just do make the child do the salt water gargling. There are so many controversies regarding this salt water gargling, but it is a traditional old, our old tradition, but still it holds good. And steam inhalation, of course, the child who are having the sinus issues like heaviness in the head, the steam inhalation does help. And our grandmother's traditional medicine for cold and flu, still till today, it holds good. I just experienced last week giving this to my son and husband because all they all had flu, and this really worked well. Taking honey, lemon, ginger, black pepper, turmeric with the pepper milk. Actually, I thought only the Indians are doing that, but even the Arabs, before coming to us, they'll say, like, doctor, I tried ana istamala the asal, lemon, ginger beer. Like everybody is using this one, and it has its own effect. And taking good diet, especially more protein. As Dr. Amreen mentioned, like, you know, we have to make sure the child is eating more during the flu. Actually, the child will not eat, but we have to make sure somehow we have to give. There's one more thing in Dr. Amreen has mentioned, like, you know, creative diet plan. Especially during the fever, you have to think creatively and give some food. One of my friend, her son is, if you write biryani in a paper, he will eat it. So during the fever, what she did, she made a biryani masala into the soup, and she made him drink that. That fellow think that the biryani was become liquid, and he had that. So we have to think something differently to make the child eat something during the flu. Avoiding cold drinks and chocolate and chips. And home isolation, especially sleep. Actually, I have seen, like, until yesterday, all were good. He was the one who bought the virus from from outside. After we all sleep together, I got it. I don't know, when you sleep, like, if the child is having a cold and flu, when you are sleeping in a closed room with the AC on it, it definitely spread to the other kids also. So whenever the child is sick, it is better to isolate and make them sleep in a different room. So what are the do's and don'ts during the fever? This is very, very important because tepid sponging, because now most of the parents, they'll rush to us having, doctor, touch the child, he's very hot. When you see, you know, they will cover with the, like, only the face will be visible. All the other parties, part of the body will be covered, like, with 2 or 3 hoods and jackets and everything. So when you cover like this, definitely the warmth of the body will increase. So what we have to do when we have fever, we have to wear a loose cotton dress and with the arms and legs exposed. If you can do the tepid sponging, like, you know, take a cotton cloth, dip it in a warm water, and then just wipe from the head to the toe. That really helps. Back there in India, in our pediatric ward, we have assistant for tepid sponging. So whenever a child comes to the high-grade fever having a history of febrile fits, they are the one first comes and does the tepid sponging. Tepid sponging really works. So do not cover the child completely. It will increase the fever. The other one is the do's and don'ts. Actually, this picture is not clear. If you see in the down one, you can see I got this picture. I was very happy to put this as here. But there was one mother who is making a vegetable soup with the noodles in it. Actually, it is a very good creative idea because I know all the kids, they like noodles. So whenever you put some noodles somewhere, definitely they will come and eat it. So if you say them that this is not a vegetable soup for flu, if you tell them that I made a noodle soup for you, definitely they'll take. As Dr. Amreen mentioned, like, we have to take, when we are having sick, we have to eat in front of them these kind of vegetable soup, chicken soup, mutton soup, whatever, in the liquid form, so that the children will learn from us, not by hearing from us, by seeing us. They have to learn from us by doing what we are doing. In the previous slide, actually, don'ts, I said, actually, the cold and fast and junk foods, especially during the fever, please avoid any junk foods because they are ending up in vomiting and loose stools. The body cannot bear these junk foods during the fever. Breathing exercise. This is especially for the children who are having allergic rhinitis and allergic bronchitis. Some of the children, they will have continuous sneezing or sometimes they will end up with breathing difficulty. So these children, please teach them the just simple technique like taking breathe one nose and releasing it to the other nose. Like a pranayama, but not necessarily that they have to learn that technique. Just ask them to take a breathe one side and then breathe it in the other nose. And one more thing, pranayama, this is for the adults, kapalapati. Like it is like clearing up the mucus in the entire sinuses. It really helps. Some of the patient, it reduces the intake of the steroids and antihistamines. And ballooning. This ballooning is actually during the COVID, most of us will know that lung capacity has reduced a lot, and so many doctors, even in the ICU, they did this technique of breathing into the balloons. Actually, they have an apparatus for that, spirometer. But normally for us, at home, we can make the child to blow the balloon. That itself will increase the lung capacity. Then antibiotic. As I told before, viral flu doesn't need any antibiotics. So I have mentioned misuse, abuse, and overuse. Misuse means the mother, when we give antibiotic for some child, when the other child is having, the mother will give the same antibiotic to the other child. So we suppose not do that. While starting antibiotic, please check with the doctor, and if the doctor advises, go for an antibiotic. Otherwise, don't start the antibiotic from one child to the other child. The abuse is like, when they take one dose, if they feel better, they'll stop. Or sometimes they will take one tablet. Like if you prescribe 2 times a day, 3 times a day, they'll take only once a daily and then they'll feel better, they'll stop. These all will develop antibiotic resistance. Sometimes overuse. One day they'll take one antibiotic, they feel like it is not subsiding, then the next day they'll start with another dose. That also we shouldn't do it. That's very, very important because in a research, they said like in 2050, antibiotic resistant bug, one of the virus or bacteria, it will come bacteria will come that it will be resistant to all the antibiotics. Already there are so many antibiotics, so many bacteria has come now, tuberculosis and MRSA, but into 2050, it will be the big issue instead of these communicable diseases. So, next. So today's take-home message is, please check the temperature with the thermometer, not with the hand. Second one, give paracetamol instead of any other NSAIDs, especially like Brufen. And the third one, check with the doctor. Actually, some of the parents, they are taking the child immediately. Today morning, if the child is having fever, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, they come to the doctor. I know the parents' feeling, but it is not necessary like that. It is not necessary to panic like that, unless otherwise we know what is in detail about the flu. And if the fever is not controlled, after 3 days also, if it is touching the baseline, you have to check with the doctor. That is also very, very important. And hydration, as I told, it is very, 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 very important. Please know the red flag signs. Previous slide. So excessive, I think I took a long time. You guys started clapping. I wanted to insist on the excessive, the red flag signs again, because this is very, very, very important. We can avoid so many unnecessary complications if we remember this. Excessive irritability, sleepiness means drowsy, dehydration, abdominal pain, vomiting, persistent vomiting, and hypotension means reduced urine output, increased heart rate, increased pulse rate, low oxygen level, and cold peripheries and fits. Thank you all so much for your patient listening. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
That was indeed a very enlightening session, Dr. Revati. We are definitely taking home the precious tips on symptoms, mode of transmission, red flag signs, prevention, medication, do's and don'ts in flu. Thank you once again. We all have heard this every day, health is wealth. Now I invite Dr. Habib Alam Raza, pediatrician and neonatologist at Hera General Hospital, Ministry of Health, Makkah, to present his topic, Health Promotion and Illness Prevention in Children. A loud round of applause, please, for Dr. Habib.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Actually, I should not agree to do the last speaker because the first two speakers did such a good job that I can go to the last slide. So a big round of applause to the first two speakers because they did an excellent job. Excellent job and good job. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this short presentation is do a mop-up and just drill it down into all our heads. Remember that I'm not only a pediatrician, but I'm also a fellow parent. I have 3 children in this school. So my aim is your aim, that our children remain healthy. That's my aim. When my child is healthy, I am happy, and I'm sure that's the same thing with you. So remember that healthy children are always better students. And when we have better students, they do academically very well. And once they do good academically, lifelong, they take a health benefit throughout their life. In this, we need an investment from teachers and parents. When we have parents involved in their children's activities, school life and home life, children benefit. Parents who get involved in their child's life see that their children avoid unhealthy behaviors. Children have less emotion and distress from their emotional problems. And this is a big topic. I'm sure one suggestion I want to do to the management committee is to hold future sessions on emotional well-being and mental well-being. Because one of the biggest problems facing all children from young to teenagers is depression, anxiety, and lot of mental tension. And one of the ways we can solve this is if parents are involved in their children's everyday life. When they come back from the school, ask, how was it? I know a parent who noticed that the child was not speaking for few days properly. And when they kept on asking the child confessed he was being bullied. You need to talk to your children. It is absolutely not allowed that the parent comes back from his work, goes to his room, the child comes back from the school, goes to his room, both of them put their head inside Facebook, and it's the end of the day. That's a no, no, no. I absolutely do not like parents, I'm also a parent, and children who spend 3 hours in the house, because that's all the time I get with my children is 3 hours. By the time they come from school and I come from work, 3 hours with everyone's head in the phone, and in the night everyone goes to sleep. That's a no, no, no. Why did we become like this? What happened to talking to each other? What happened to sitting and asking each other, how was your day? How was my day? What did happen? What is your new friends? What did your teacher tell you? What was the homework? Oh, what happened? What happened to that? Something is wrong. That's wrong. And when parents get involved with their children, children start developing positive, healthy behaviors. They start going out, cycling, playing football, eating healthy. And when children are happy and healthy, they get good marks. Teachers are happy, we parents are happy. So it's a win-win situation. Why do children get sick? I just want to tell this. I'm a parent, I'm a pediatrician. Let me just tell you why children get sick. Children meet more people in their one day than what I do in my work. They meet of changing of germs. And when they play, they take their small kids, they take their toys, put it in the mouth. That's the way they are. They cough on each other. They sneeze on each other. They don't wash hands. These are kids. And also they have a low immunity. Kids get sick. So these are the actions they have already told. I will just go it very rapidly. How do we break this? How do we help our kids stay healthy? Most important, as parents, if my kid is sick in the morning, I don't send him to school. I send a message. Now WhatsApp is there. That's a great boon. I send a WhatsApp message to the class teacher. My child is sick. I cannot come. Please help me with the missed work. That's very good. I'm sure all the class teachers will help their parents with the missed work. Don't send a sick child to the school. Rule number 1 for all of us, including myself. Rule number 2, make sure that everyone is vaccinated. Make sure that your children are vaccinated. I have this big problem with parents have this phobia about conspiracy theories of Martians sitting in the planet Mars and controlling their children through vaccines. Please get your children vaccinated. All the parents get your vaccinations of COVID. Everyone gets vaccinated. Please don't fall into the trap of conspiracy theories because you're going to ruin your own family's health. Cleaning and disinfecting. This applies to schools as well as to homes. You clean and disinfect places where children will sit and eat and play. That's at home as well as in the school. Children, trust me, they're going to lick the table, they're going to lick the toy, they're going to sneeze on it. You cannot control them. That's how they're made. That's the Windows program in them. You cannot control them. You can disinfect the surfaces. Ventilation system. Someone had told this. That was very good. Ventilation system is very important to prevent spread of infection. So whether it's at home or whether it's in school, you need to have a good ventilation system to prevent spread of infections. You need good hand hygiene. I'm going to tell this. And most important thing that I want to convey the message to the school is that if you have a child who is sick, isolate the child away from the class in a sick room, but do not leave that child alone in the sick room. Don't leave a sick child in the class with others. Take the child out to a sick room and make sure there is an adult with the child till the parents come or the next step is done. But don't keep a sick child in the class with other children. Don't hesitate. Vaccinate. Please vaccinate your children. Ask your brothers to get their children vaccinated. Ask your sisters to get their children vaccinated. Call India tomorrow, Friday. Everyone calls India. Don't ask about what you bought or what is the price of gold or what is the price of oil. Tell your relatives to get their children vaccinated. Trust me, that's the best gift you can give your relatives. Even better than buying them a new dress or buying them gold is to give them a gift of health. Get everyone vaccinated. Vaccinated. Do not hesitate. This is a big campaign started by MOH a couple of years back when they started the COVID vaccination for children. And these were, by the way, the opinions of Saudi parents, not of Indian parents. And you will find out by the opinion of Saudi parents that they think like you and I think. They said, oh my God, I am afraid of vaccines. Vaccines will do something good. I don't like vaccines. I will not get my child vaccinated. Please don't fall into this trap. If your child is eligible for COVID vaccination, get the child vaccinated. All parents should be vaccinated. All teachers should be vaccinated. All staff should be vaccinated. That's the only way you're going to break the cycle of infection, not by just sitting and dreaming about conspiracy theories. This is a screenshot taken from a US channel last month, MSNBC, and this is what we pediatricians are facing. By the way, I work as a neonatologist. In case it doesn't drive home, I work with children who weigh 500 grams, 600 grams. In my NICU, the smallest child with seasonal flu was 10 days old, and we needed to ventilate him. Ventilate him means put him on a breathing machine. And this is a big problem all over the world, whether it's US, Europe, Asia, Africa. We are hit with something called a triple epidemic. What's a triple epidemic? We have three problems came at the same time in winter season. One is flu, another one is RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus, and third is your COVID. How do we break it? By following the guidelines and getting everyone vaccinated. This they have already told, Jazakallah khairan, that was very nice. Most important, we need to do this. We need to do this. There is no point telling your child, don't do that, and you do it, and you cough on all over the place. No, you need to do the same message what my previous speaker said. You do what your child wants to do. So you sneeze properly, you cough properly in a tissue, throw the tissue in the garbage can. Don't put it on the sofa, don't put it on the teapot. Get up, go to the trash can, throw the tissue, come back, sit down. Your child will do the same thing. If there is no tissue, into the sleeve or into the shoulder. Very good. You need to do. We need to set an example. My previous speakers had told, but I want to tell everyone, if there is one thing that you're going to take home from all three speakers, is that wash your hands. Wash your hands. There is nothing which can break anything like wash your hands. Trust me, during the pandemic, I worked in the COVID ward. I have not washed my hands in my whole life like I washed when I was in the COVID ward with COVID patients. Maybe I washed so much, maybe the skin peeled off. I'm sure all my fellow colleagues will agree. The fear for us doctors when we are faced with a COVID patient is tremendous, because I, like you, I'm a human being. I'm very afraid of getting sick. I'm very afraid of taking the infection back home to my family. Every day in the night, I go back to my wife and kids. I don't want to take a COVID infection to them. And this was pre-vaccination era when people were getting sick. One of my colleagues, a surgeon in my hospital, Hera Hospital, if you Google it, died from COVID. Though we tried our best, and everyone, including the minister, tried his best to save his life by putting him on a heart-lung bypass machine, but we lost him because it had to happen. So trust me, when you see these things, you will wash your hands. You will wash your hands in dream. I will be sleeping and I will be washing my hand. Wash your hands. You wash your hands, teach the children to wash the hands. But if you wash the hands and children will see, oh, Papa, Mama washing hands, I will wash my hand. But if you say, Baba, you go wash your hand, I will not wash my hand. It's too low for me. They're not going to wash your hands. Wash your hands. Be careful when you use alcohol sanitizer in small children, around small children, like in KG 1, 2, because alcohol sanitizer, if taken by children and swallowed, is a poison. This is the problem of small kids. You know, small kids, they love to drink and eat. What you tell them, do not eat, they will drink that. So be careful of using alcohol sanitizer around small kids. Poisonings have been reported. Hand washing, hand washing, hand washing. Washing with what? Soap and water. Nothing like good old soap and water. Washing with soap and water. You need to tell children every time, after toilet, before eating, after playing, wash your hand, and we wash with them. How to wash? I have a son, a young son, I will not tell his name. But if I tell him, go wash his hand, he goes to the basin, switches on the water, closes the water and comes back within less than a second. And the hand just goes through the water so rapidly and comes. And when I look at him and said, what did you do? He said, I am conserving water. So please, don't just tell children, wash your hands. You need to show them how to wash hands. Palm to palm, palm to back of the hand, interlocking the hands, back of the hands, rubbing around the thumbs, cleaning the nails, and then rinsing. You need to show it, because children have a beautiful idea of washing hand. Because remember, the teachers told them what? Save water. Wash your hands. Washing hands makes the family healthy. And don't we want our families to be healthy? I'm very selfish. I want my family to be healthy. Don't you want your family to be healthy? Yes, you do. Wash your hands. Lead by example. Father, mother, the child will come and wash. Stand and watch how he's washing. He should not do conservation of water technique. Wash his hand. Give frequent reminders, polite reminders. Please wash your hand. Please wash your hand. Pretty, please wash your hand. Remind them, did you wash your hand? Remember that washing hands decreases diarrhea in 1 in 3. By the way, these are medical figures. 1 in 3, and decreases respiratory infections in 1 in 5. Another biggest problem other than viruses and bacteria which we face, all the medical people, are fake news and conspiracy theories. So remember that when we as educated people get a forward in WhatsApp, before you forward it, check whether it's a fact. And it's important that you prepare your family that you're going to get lot of nonsense forwards in WhatsApp, what is known as pre-bunk them. And when you get a forward, check the facts. If it's false, debunk them. I want to show this very nice thing. This is taken from US. This is measles. These blue bars are measles cases. They started a vaccination drive because they have certain religious groups in the US who forbid vaccination, completely forbid vaccination. So they started addressing these communities, and when the vaccination increased, the measles decreased. This is taken again from WHO for COVID. When vaccination increased, the hospitalization decreased. So how do you fight fake news in WhatsApp? By facts, by science. These are some things I just want to tell. Actually, my previous speaker, she told this, but I want to tell you again. We get a lot of nonsense about food. You know, parents will be very happy to buy a samosa or a pakoda or a sweet from some shop made by a person who has never washed his hands, made with water which is taken from the drain, and made from oil which is actually thrown off from a previous restaurant, because you know oil is very costly. Tomorrow when you go shopping, check the price of oil. So oil is costly, so it's a very bad oil. He's not going to wash his hand. The water is bad, but the parents will not hesitate giving a samosa or a pakoda to his child. But fruits, he said, no. Fruits will make my child sick. I will not give fruits. What's wrong with you? God has packaged it and sent it to you. Give it to your children. Fruits are beautiful. Give a fruit and you don't have to visit your doctor. Save the money. Enjoy it. Beautiful fruits. This is one place you can go to Bindaud and buy a fruit from India. You can buy a fruit from Nigeria. You can buy a fruit from Panama. Get fruits. Give it to your children. Please don't go into a trap. I do not know who make these traps. Maybe the restaurants, they tell you, don't buy fruits, pakodas, samosas, yes. And another very important thing, this is for adults, by the way, for all adults, all of us. Create a smoke-free home. The best thing that you can do for your health and your family's health is to quit smoking. I will tell you this. Sometimes we go on rounds in our ER. We have a huge pediatric ER. And we find a lot of children with asthma, and they come back for a severe asthmatic attack, and they'll be nebulizing, and we'll find the father. And immediately we will know he's a smoker. You know, the smell is unmistakable. And then we tell him in front of his wife and in front of his child in Arabic, because most of our patients are Arabic speaking, and we tell it in Arabic so that he feels the guilt. And we tell him that because you smoked, your child is getting treated. Because you smoked, your child is going to get IV methylprednisolone, which is a steroid. Because you smoked, your child is going to get admitted in ICU. Because you did it. You did it. You take the responsibility. You were a teenager long back and used to smoke with friends, but now you are a father. Take responsibility. You have a family to take care. Stop smoking. I had 2 colleagues. They are now retired somewhere away with children who were in IISJ long back. One of my colleagues was a chain smoker. He used to go through 3 Marlboro packets daily. He could not stop it. He was a pediatrician. One day he had an MI, which is a heart attack in layman's term. The next day he said, I stopped it because God saved his life. He was found in a very bad condition and God saved him. He stopped it next time. Another colleague of mine, another pediatrician, also a chain smoker, stopped it when his child was diagnosed with asthma because he could not take the guilt pill anymore. We can do it. It's not so difficult. And if you need help, I'm sure you can visit any one of the GPs. They will give smoking helping patches. Quit smoking. Let me through this. I will just go through this very briefly for the sake of time. Remember that we need to keep our children safe even when they go out to play. because injuries while playing is really bad. So how do we do that? Before that, I want to tell you something. When I was a small child, long back ago, long back, when I had hair on my head, long back, when there was an emergency at home, okay, what did I do? Suppose my parents were not there and I needed to call the ambulance or I needed to call the police. What do? I go to the landline, because that's the only phone there. I pick it up. There was this rotary numbers, 100. That's how you call. Can you imagine today, if there's an emergency at home, suppose something happens to the dad, he collapses, mom is not there, your child is alone. How is he going to call for help? There is no landline. I'm sure none of you have a landline. None of you have a landline at home, unless you have a DSL internet connection. How is the child going to call the police? Or how is the child going to call an ambulance? Why? Because you have locked your phones. The child does not know your lock code. Or if you have an iPhone, does not have the face recognition or does not have a fingerprint reader. How is the child going to call an ambulance if he finds a parent collapse or he's alone and he needs help? That's where it comes very important that we as parents teach our children how to use the mobile phone in an emergency mode. Even if the child does not know an emergency unlock code, the children should be taught how to press the emergency icon and dial 911, which will work in Jeddah, by the way, to call for help. And this is important. And young children should be taught this. I have faced multiple situations where young children saved their parents. When they call, children should be trained to tell their house address. Children should be trained to know what is the house address so that the help can come to them. And this is very important. Poison prevention. I want to tell this. Children are eye level. What is eye level is if I am a child, I will do everything what I see at my eye level. I will never look up. Never look up. That's how children are trained. So keep everything which is harmful for children above the eye level. Above the eye level and never below the eye level. When you tell a child, don't touch this, he is going to touch it. Why? That's the program. All of them are like this. Even we adults are like that. So always keep your poisons above the eye level. What is a poison? Everything in your house is a poison. I have seen children who got poisoned with oral contraceptive pills of their mothers. I have seen children who got poisoned with iron tablets of their children. And if you buy Clorox, I want to tell this example, 5-liter can, because it's on a discount in Bin Daud. Keep the Clorox in the 5-liter can. Do not transfer the Clorox from a 5-liter can to a 1-liter drinking water bottle. Cap it and keep it because you don't want to waste the 5 liters. Many years back, when I was in NICU working, I had an emergency call from ER for a 20-day-old baby who was brought running by the parents, and you will not believe this story. The mother was asleep. The 20-day-old baby was sleeping next to the mother. The baby started crying. The elder sister of this baby girl just came back from school. This elder sister was around 7 years. She just came back. She saw that her mother was sleeping. She doesn't want to wake up the mother. Then she saw that the little baby was crying. So she knew that my mama makes milk in the bottle and gives to the baby when the baby cries. So she ran to the kitchen. There was a beautiful water bottle with clear liquid. She put it in the bottle, put the milk powder, mixed it together and fed the baby. The baby started vomiting. The mother woke up. She said, what happened? She said, I made milk. He said, how did you make milk? He said, from that bottle. He said, that is Clorox. So they took and ran, but the baby escaped and God saved the baby. Never keep anything away from its original packaging. Don't transfer a Clorox or anything into any other bottle. Keep it in original packing. Keep it away from the children or locked up. Children will do the nonsense thing that you least expected. Remember that. Fire safety is really important, but I will skip it for the sake of a thing. Small children, all small children, and big children, and adults should know that if there is a fire, la khaddar Allah, God forbid, what should they do when there is smoke? Children should be taught, go low and crawl. All of us, even we are taught in hospitals, we get fire training, go low and crawl. If children should be taught that if you find a match, if you find a lighter, give it to Papa. He will give you a reward. So children will not use a fire generating device. Show them an escape plan. and tell them that if your clothes catch fire, stop, drop, and roll. This is very important. I just brought it. By the way, if you see the screenshot thing, this is from November 29. We have a saying during our pediatrics training that only a nut will give a nut to a child. Only a nut will give a nut to a child. Some of the worst problems that I have seen is with button batteries. You know what are button batteries? They are watch batteries. You know who puts these button batteries into the mouth of small children? The elder brother and the elder sister. You know why? I don't know. So far, till now, I really do not know why the elder brother and elder sister experiment with their smaller brother and sister by putting the button battery in the mouth. God forbid, if you face this situation, what do? Take the child and run to the closest hospital or call 911. Don't make the child vomit. Don't give anything to the child by mouth, because that battery, the moment it enters the esophagus, completes the circuit, esophageal burn starts, and if you give anything from up, or if you try to make the baby vomit, you're going to have a esophageal tear, which is not good. Another big problem, if you open your Amazon or Noon and search for Orbeez, also known as water beads, you know the small white things, and then you put water and then it swells up and children love to play with it. That is one of the worst things that I have seen. This is a real photo, by the way. I'm sorry for scaring you. This is a real photo of a baby whose elder brother put an Orbeez after water into the mouth. It went into the intestine, caused an intestinal perforation, and the baby is still struggling for life. Many places in US and Australia have banned it and recalled it, but unfortunately, you can still find it in India, you can still find it in Noon. Yeah, I just wanted to tell this. Teach all our children, when they cross the road. It's really important because I have seen it. You know, when they cross the road, maybe it's to go to the bus, or maybe it's to go to the bakhala. Children cross the road all the time. To look to the left, to look to the right, and look to the left again. And you know how you teach it? By doing it yourself. When you cross the road with your child, you look to the left, look to the right, and look to the left. Trust me, he's going to follow you. You know why? For your child, you know who is James Bond? The father, the mother, those are the heroes. He's going to follow you. Everything that you're going to do, you are the superhero. You are the Avenger hero for your child. What you're going to do, your child is going to do. Look to the left, look to the right, look to the left again. Always make sure that you maintain eye contact with the driver of a vehicle when you cross the road. This is really important. Really important. And also a very important thing for us parents and us teachers to do is that when we cross our roads, we keep our head up and the phones down. We do not cross our roads like this. When we as parents cross roads, when we as teachers cross roads, we keep our heads up and we keep our devices down and we cross the road. Trust me, your kids will do the same. But if they see that Papa, Mama crosses the road like this, they will do the same thing, and which is not good at all. Please put children less than 12 years on the back seat. Put seat belt, take a car seat. It saves a life. Very recently, I don't want to tell any names, very recently, an Indian family met with an accident on the Medina-Makkah highway in a Toyota Fortuner. You know Toyota Fortuner, it's a good car. It's a big car. Most of the people died. The wife and the kids died. By the way, an Indian family. You know, the person who survived was the driver, the father. He's the only survivor. You know why? Because he was belted. The wife was thrown out. The kids were thrown out. The accident happened on the highway near Makkah. The sight was very bad, very bloody. The only survivor was the father, the one who was supposed to be killed because he was the one driving when it went into a head-on collision. He survived. The seatbelt saved him. The wife died. The kids died. So if you love your family, belt them up. There's nothing ashamed of that. I feel many persons, especially if I sit with them in the car and I tell them, can you belt up? He said, why? There are no cameras here. So I tell them, you're not belting for the camera. You're belting so that you reach your home today. And you don't reach your home on a photo frame with a flower around you. I will skip this, but I just want to tell this one thing because this is very common. This, maybe many of us do not have a swimming pool in our houses here, but many of us do go for gatherings, family gatherings, get-togethers, social gatherings in some istaras, in some rest houses, and there are swimming pools there. There are swimming pools there. There is a very sad incident which happened in this school a couple of years back after a 10th board exam. After the 10th board exam, in a social gathering, that the girl died after the 10th board. I'm sure some of the teachers know this story. You know why? Because a fundamental rule was broken. When you have children in a swimming pool, you need an adult water watcher. You know what is an adult water watcher? Adult water watcher is one parent who tells that for half an hour, my job is to sit and watch the children in the swimming pool. After half an hour, I tell another colleague of mine, my brother, my friend, you be the water watcher for 30 minutes. Then I go back to socializing, talking, and doing all important things like deciding who will win the FIFA World Cup, which is very important because if I don't decide it, who will decide it? So for 30 minutes, the adult has to be a water watcher because you watch a child. Even if the child can swim, you can pick up early fatigue. That girl lost her life. I'm sure some of the teachers know that. After giving her 10th board exam, can you imagine the pain which went through the parents' hearts? And that swimming pool was surrounded by parents. And everyone was there. Everyone was busy. No one saw her getting fatigued and drowning. I will skip this because they have gone through it excellently. I will just go skip it. Yeah, I just want to tell this to the school management that in the future, if you have more courses, please try to arrange for the teachers courses of how to handle a choking child and how to handle a child who needs CPR. It's really important. And it's very easy, by the way. It's really easy. I just want to show these three numbers to all. That is 937. I just want to tell you what is 937. 937 is a number that you and I can call to ask a doubt for free. It is manned by doctors, and it's a free service. And they talk in English, they talk in Arabic, they talk in Urdu. 937 is a service you can call, and you can ask a doubt. You can tell that, like Dr. had told just now about red flag signs. So you can tell that, hello, I have a query. They will put you and they will ask you, what is your patient's age? You will tell 6 years. They will divert the call to a pediatrician. You will tell that my child has fever for 4 days. They will tell 4 days. They will tell, please go to your pediatrician now. 937 is a service that you can avail for free for taking free medical help. Don't have to pay. Can you imagine a doctor? You don't have to pay. What's better than this? 911. 911 is a service which all of us should know and our children should know. In an emergency, it will work. In places where 911 doesn't work, the number to call ambulance is 997. All of us should know this. But here, 911 does work. I just want to show this. By the way, that photo on the top, that is a happiness class taken from the Delhi schools. Delhi schools have one class per week called happiness class. You know why? For mental well-being. And in this happiness class, people share jokes. And the aim is to make everyone laugh. And the aim is to make your teacher laugh. Can you imagine the happiness a child will get if the teacher will laugh? Happiness class is really nice. And health and is better than wealth. When you have healthy children, parents are happy, teachers are happy, our children are happy. When children are happy, they are active. They are running up and down. And when they are healthy and active, they are great students and they do academically well. Doesn't that make all of us proud? Thank you.
Well, that was a brilliant session, Dr. Habib. You have really enlightened us on the importance of vaccination, the involvement and interaction of parents, and giving children the gift of good health, leading by example, and last but not the least, the happiness class was a wonderful suggestion for all of us. Thank you once again. We now have the stage open for interaction. If anybody has any questions, you can stand up. And our doctors over here will answer to the queries that you have. Okay. Since there are no queries, may I now request Dr. Muhammad Abdul Salim to present a memento to Dr. Habib Alam Raza. May I have Dr. Muhammad Abdul Salim on stage with Dr. Habib Alam Raza? Put your hands together for the wonderful session that Dr. Habib conducted. Thank you, sir. This is a token of gratitude on behalf of ISJ. Can I request our principal in charge, Mr. Syed Abdul Haq, and Vice Principal Girls Section, Mrs. Faradunisa, to be on stage for the honors? Thank you once again. May I now invite esteemed member of the Managing Committee, Dr. Hemalata Mahalingam, to present a memento to Dr. Amreen Munshi. Thank you, Dr. Amreen Munshi. This is a token of our gratitude. May I now invite esteemed member Dr. Farheen Amina Taha to present a memento to Dr. Revati Balu. Thank you, Dr. Revati. May I request all the esteemed members of the Managing Committee to join on stage? All members of the Managing Committee are requested to join on stage for the photograph. If we can have the stage lights on. May I request Dr. Amreen and Dr. Habib to please come on the stage for the photograph. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That was a wonderful session. I would call it a day. May I now request Mr. Amtul Razak, HM of 1 and 2 Boys Section, to propose the vote of thanks. Mrs. Amtul Raza for the vote of thanks, please.
Honorable members of the Managing Committee, our most valued guest speakers of the day, school officials, dear parents, and staff of ISJ, Assalamu alaikum. May the greetings of peace, mercy, and blessings of Almighty be upon us all. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of ISJ, extend a warm, heartfelt thanks to all the speakers for gracing us with the noteworthy and indispensable work and sharing the necessary guidelines to be hale and healthy. Thank you, Dr. Amreen Munshi, for sharing the benefits of healthy diet for school-going children and the foods that you recommended for us and the foods that are to be avoided. We would specially thank and extend our gratitude to Dr. Revati Balu for explaining in detail the guidelines for parents and caregivers in case of flu-like symptoms, especially red flag signs and the other information. With a deep sense of appreciation, we would like to thank Dr. Habib Alam Raza for enlightening us on a variety of situations we need to protect the gems of our life, especially talking in details about the vices of the society, essential preventive measures, importance of getting our children vaccinated, myths and facts about eating fruit especially, and many more topics like the telephone line connections, happiness class, and so on. We extend our generous thanks to all the members of the Managing Committee and especially Dr. Mohammad Abdul Salim for taking this initiative in arranging this session. And a special thanks to the management of Naseem Polyclinic and especially Mr. Yusuf Kutti for contributing towards the community services and especially this awareness program. We extend our gratitude to our principal in charge, administrative officer, and all the teaching and non-teaching staff for the logistic support and the arrangements here. I would also like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Muzaffar Hassan, in his absence here, for his support to host this much-awaited event. Naseem Jidda Polyclinic is planning to organize a flu vaccine camp under the supervision of doctors in ISJ in boys as well as girls section, free of cost. Parents can avail this opportunity. We would also like to extend our sincere appreciation for parents for their presence in this evening, and I hope you all are taking back at least one valuable lesson that will make a difference in your life and your personalities. With warm regards and prayers, we move to the end of today's program. Thank you all.